cards are dealt the other way now, and for the last time, no more shuffling.
All right, welcome back to yet another episode of Fantasy Fuel Shuffling the Deck. I am Tom Tuttle, and today we're going to be talking about a random player from the Cleveland Browns. Have they made a big change from 2 years ago to right now? They are a team looking at a serious possibility of making the playoffs, could win the division, and who knows what happens if they do that. So, let's get to that random player for the Cleveland Browns. All right, it's going to be Nick Chubb. Yes, Chubb it's going to be interesting because we know that Kareem Hunt is suspended for 8 weeks. So it's going to be all Chubb the entire 8 weeks. If you look at from what Chubb has done from week 7, from when he actually took that role and started progressing into that role as the lead back after they traded Carlos Hyde away. If you look at from week 7 on, he averaged 19.27 points per game. And if you put that into a little bit of perspective, if you put that on average and do a comparison with all the other players in the league, that's top 10. Top 10. You wouldn't probably think Nick Chubb was top 10 last year. Well, he was, if you put it into a little bit different perspective. So Kareem Hunt, what's going to happen after the 8 weeks? I think what happens here is Nick Chubb is going to have a huge first 8 weeks because he wants to prove that he can be the guy, and they don't necessarily need Kareem Hunt. Now, Kareem Hunt's still a stellar running back. There's no doubt about it. But I think that he's going to be a number 1 running back for sure. I'm talking about Nick Chubb now, not Kareem Hunt. I think Nick Chubb's going to be number 1 running back for sure for the first 8 weeks. So what happens after the first 8 weeks? A Hunt? Is it going to be Chubb? Is it going to be a combination of the both? Well, a lot of people say that because Kareem Hunt's going to be fresh and he's going to be ready to go, that Kareem Hunt's going to take a lot of the snaps and he's going to be the guy going forward for the year. I see it a little differently. If Nick Chubb has a great first 8 weeks, like I think he will, and there's any sign of rust on Kareem Hunt, it's going to be a lot of Nick Chubb, and I think it'll be mostly a combo because they do want to get Hunt in there. He's a talented running back. There's no doubt about it. But if Chubb does well, I think that the Browns won't want to stop using him, even if Hunt is back, and even if Hunt is into form, I don't think they're going to stop using Chubb. I mean, just look at what the Saints did with Kamara and Ingram. They did amazing things with both of them. So it's proof that you can have 2 very relevant and reliable fantasy running backs on one team. So don't count that out either. And even with the new additions to the Browns of Odell Beckham Jr., and I mean the slightly new addition from last year with Jarvis Landry, and all this is going forward, this is going to make their team a lot better, and it should open up things for Nick Chubb and for Kareem Hunt, but for Nick Chubb, especially in the first 8 games, this is going to be very, very good for him. So what's his ADP? Right now, it's early second round to late second round. I've even seen him go into the third. That's pretty rare, but if you get him in the third round, that's, to me, really, really valuable. I'd say anywhere in the mid to late second round is probably where you want to get him. I don't have any problem if you want to take him in the second round, but you do have to remember, keep it on a back burner that Kareem Hunt will come back, and it's going to take a little bit away from Chubb if Hunt comes back and he's what he was previously. But I would say, and listen, I'm going to do something that I don't normally do on these shuffling the decks. Maybe I did one early, but I don't remember doing an ESP on my Shuffling the Deck episodes. So I'm going to do one. And I think don't count Nick Chubb out. And I think this is my ESP. I'm going to predict, the early season prediction. That's what this is called. I'm going to predict that Nick Chubb will be a top 5 running back for the first 8 weeks. After that, it will get a little bit less, but it's not going to be that much less. Like I said, it is possible to have 2 running backs be very reliable in fantasy football on the same team. So be aware that he might fall down just a little bit, but I wouldn't trade him unless you really, really need something. Because when Kareem Hunt comes back, people are already going to know, wow, he's only trading him because Hunt's coming back. Just be aware that it might fall down a little bit, but I wouldn't think it's going to be that much. I love Nick Chubb this year. Do not sleep on him. I would grab him in the second round if I had the choice. I don't see any reason why I need to go any further, but end it on that ESP top 5 fantasy football running back the first 8 weeks. Mark my words, it's going to happen. If you're watching us on YouTube, please subscribe. And if you're going to continue watching us, you might as well give that notification bell a click as well, because that way you don't have to keep searching for us. You'll just get notified for it, and there you go. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, please give us a review. That does help us out get a little bit more notice. We're on Podchaser, iHeartRadio. We're in all them places. You guys know all this stuff by now. Spotify. If you can find us on fantasyfootballpodcast.com. You can find us on Facebook. You can also find us on Facebook at the Fantasy Football Stardom and Situm page. It's a great place to go to get some extra knowledge from some of your peers. Don't forget about Pole Sports. That's coming forward. That's going to be awesome. We saw a glimpse of it a few days ago, and it's going to be really, really good. Trust me on this. Register now. Be one of the first people to register for Pole Sports and get ready for it because it's coming soon. With all that said, remember to listen to Fantasy Fuel every time we do a full episode with me and John Eddie Jr. Don't forget about John Eddie Jr.'s actual solo show that he's doing. It's called Ride, and it focuses on individual defensive players. It's really, really good. You're going to love it. And with that said, just remember to stay fueled up this offseason.